Now, before we start, you might want to check out our other podcasts covering topics like personal development and minimalism, money, health, relationships, and more. So to optimize your life in other areas, just search for Optimal Living Daily in your podcast app. Now, on to the show.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 2045, The Blessings of a Messy Room, by Allison Carmen of AllisonCarmen.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another installment of ORD with me, your host and narrator, Greg Audino. Today will be another parenting episode, and this time the content is brought to us by Allison Carmen, who we've been reading from for so long and is one of our biggest supporters. Thank you to her, as always, for being such a big part of our community. Let's get into her post today about what lessons we might learn from our children's messy rooms as we start optimizing your life. The Blessings of a Messy Room, by Allison Carmen of AllisonCarmen.com. Quote, "While we try to teach our children all about life, our children teach us what life is all about." That's by Angela Schwint. When school is out, many of us find our children hanging around the house more often. Without a strict schedule and a lot of homework, there is more time for them to relax and make a mess. For most of this past summer, I felt my days were consumed with cleaning dishes, cleaning crumbs off the floor, finding wet towels everywhere, and putting things away in each room to find it all out of place again by the end of the day. I was constantly asking the children to clean up after themselves, but unfortunately, their talents seemed to lie in making a mess. A few weeks ago, I was telling my friend about this experience with my children, and she said, "You should see my house. It's so clean. I would never let my kids get away with what your kids get away with. My kids clean their rooms, put their dishes in the dishwasher, and wipe the floor. You need to be harsher with them and let them know their responsibilities and that you are in charge." I thought to myself, she is right. My children need to do their chores and help out more around the house. There's no excuse for this situation. So, for 1 week, I marched around the house, venting irritation about the mess, using a stern voice to make the kids clean up, and an angry voice when they did not do it. Instead of cleaning up myself, I spent the entire week reprimanding them and letting them know I was in charge. However, this new mindset just resulted in more yelling and conflict than usual. They cleaned up more, but it was so painful for me to feel so frustrated and to keep reminding them what needed to be done. There were more arguments, and I felt exhausted, uptight, and angry. The next day, my younger daughter was at day camp, and my older daughter was out with a friend. It was so quiet in the house, and I missed them both. I looked down on the kitchen floor, and I saw muffin crumbs from breakfast that morning. In that moment, I smiled. I realized that this is the blessing of having two vibrant children in my house. As I cleaned up the mess, I did not feel angry or upset. Sure, I would tell them that they left crumbs all over the floor and still ask them to clean up their messes. But right then, my entire perspective shifted. I now see each crumb and each unmade bed as a reminder of how lucky I am to have them in my life. Looking at the crumbs as a blessing couches the frustration with warmth and allows me to make space in the situation. One day they will move away, and my house will be very clean, but I will miss them dearly. Sure, I keep asking them to help out, but the mess no longer makes me feel angry or uptight. Now, a mess works as a reminder to me of the wonder of having these children in my life. Do I like cleaning up? Of course not. But kids are messy, and why be miserable over it? I prefer to choose gratitude and joy. I was out with friends for dinner the next night, and my friend was complaining about his daughter graduated college, moved back in the house, and was making a mess. He told us his daughter is loud, doesn't clean her room or help enough with the dishes. It was driving him crazy. I turned to him and said, "I try to see my children's messes as a blessing." He replied, "Allison, you are out of your mind." I responded, "I'm happy right now, and you're miserable. So which one of us is crazy?" He smiled and said, "Maybe you have a point. I'm not sure I can embrace the blessing of a messy room, but I will try." So, the next time the floors are marked up because your children didn't take off their shoes, or they spill grape juice all over the table, don't make their bed, or leave food in their room, try to take a deep breath and see the blessing behind the mess. Of course, tell them to clean it up and teach them to help out more around the house. But when you see the blessing behind the mess, you won't feel so frustrated and relinquish your joy so easily. Your heart will stay open with gratitude for their presence in your life, and you will keep a larger perspective of what is really important. It feels so much better to support them on their journey with more joy and love than to scream and react all the time about the messes they make. I actually think my children might be cleaning up after themselves more these past few days. Or maybe it's just bothering me less. In any case, seeing it all as a blessing can be a key to less suffering and the path to fully enjoying each day with our children. You just listened to the post titled, The Blessings of a Messy Room by Allison Carmen of AllisonCarmen.com. I always like to begin the year by clearing out my closet, but this year I'm also upgrading it with pieces that will last beyond the season from Quince. Quince creates timeless essentials that never go out of style, like 100% Mongolian cashmere crew neck sweaters from $59, 100% leather jackets, and fitted pants. And by partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. We're talking 50 to 80% savings. Plus, Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. My girlfriend and I are so happy with the rug that we got from Quince. They do offer home goods as well as clothes. As promised, it was definitely a great deal. It was one of many rugs they offer that have a really timeless look. And for me, you really can't put a price on items that are manufactured ethically. So, upgrade your closet with Quince. Go to quince.com/ORD for free shipping and 365-day returns on your order. That's QUINCE.com/ORD to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/ORD.
TIAA is on a mission. Why? Because 54% of Black Americans don't have enough savings to retire. So in collaboration with big-name artists like Wyclef Jean, TIAA released Paper Right, new music inspiring a new financial future. With 100% of streaming sales going to a nonprofit that teaches students how to invest. Stream Paper Right now and help close the gap.
And thank you so much to Allison for this post. I really like what she had to say today. This shift in perspective, seeing these messes as symbols of life and energy, that changes everything. Now, this approach offers several benefits. It reduces household stress and conflict, moving from constant reprimands to an atmosphere of understanding and acceptance. It strengthens the parent-child relationship. It fosters a supportive environment, right? As children start to see their parents respond with love rather than anger. And of course, at the end of it all, it provides a valuable lesson in perspective, showing that changing our outlook can often alleviate frustrations. So embracing chaos is a part of raising children that teaches patience and love and joy, and above all, that fleeting nature of childhood, something that I would think most parents are always wishing they had back. It encourages cherishing the present moment with our children, recognizing their impermanence. And if we're smart as parents, this type of approach can be applied to many parts of life, not just parenting. It better prepares us to constantly reflect on how, at least in some way, we are currently living in what we will one day consider to be the good old days. And if we can master that, I think it's a really, really great skill to have. So, something to think about, folks. Thank you as always for tuning in as we wrap up yet another episode. Fear not, though, parents. Tomorrow we will have another article about the parenting journey, as is customary on Thursdays and Fridays. So be sure to tune back in for that, where your optimal life awaits.